Hey, what's up guys, Tactiholics here, and today we have the pleasure of breaking down the HK VP9. So opening up the VP9 case, you're going to find the VP9 laying inside of a nice cut foam package, 2 magazines, 15 round capacity, 10 round capacity available for certain states, and large, medium, and small backstrap and grip panels to interchange. The VP9 is HK's first adventure down the striker-fired platform avenue since the P7 squeeze cocker and the P70. Both of those guns were in production anywhere from the early 1970s up until 2008. The VP9 is designed to be a direct competitor with things like the Walther PPQ, the Sig 320, and all the main common striker-fired platforms such as your Glocks, your M&Ps, and your Springfield XD series guns. H&K very closely modeled the VP9 after their P30, which is a double single action polymer framed gun. You can see a lot of similarities in the overall design of the firearm. There's some controversy over the overall design of the VP9. Some people think it's aesthetically pleasing, some people don't. I think it looks like something that Batman would carry if Batman was going to carry a gun, just because of the wave featuring inside the grip panels, the front finger choils that help secure your grip on the gun, and overall it's got a pretty edgy yet refined and classy look. On the top of the gun there's a nice 3-dot sight system with luminescent sights, so they pick up a lot of daylight, they work really well in the daytime, and they glow at night. Incorporated into the back of the slide of the VP9, there is a firing pin indicator that is red when the firing pin is live and the weapon is essentially cocked, and it drops when the trigger drops. Also on the back of the slide, underneath the rear sight, they have HK's charging support system, these small paddles here, and those are on the gun to assist with grabbing the slide for cycling the gun to minimize your potential for slipping off the back of the slide in harsh conditions. VP9 is set up out of the box with fully ambidextrous controls. That includes ambidextrous slide lock, slide release, classic HK ambidextrous paddle magazine releases that can be pushed down with either thumb or trigger finger, and a trigger safety very familiar to those of us who shoot Glocks and Springfield XDs. Perhaps one of the most unique features to the VP9, something that really helps set it apart, is the grip configurations. Out of the box, it comes with 3 different grip panels per side of the gun. A lot of guns in this class have the ability to change backstrap sections out, or you can choose small, medium, or large grip frames entirely. What HK designed on the VP9 is the ability to change the right side of the grip, backstrap of the grip, and left side of the grip all independently. So making adjustments to the grip configuration that the VP9 allows is as simple as taking a punch, pushing out this lower pin on the bottom of the grip. The rear backstrap piece slides straight down off the gun. You can see that there's channeled grooves in the back that line up with the back of the frame. So after removing the backstrap piece, each side plate slides straight backwards off the gun, and included with the VP9 is your small, medium, and large side plates and backstrap. So again, endless configurations. So HK designed the VP9 as a combat handgun and made it very field serviceable. To take the gun apart as a general field strip for cleaning or maintenance, first thing you do is release the magazine and make sure that the gun is clear by locking the slide open. You move the teardown lever 90 degrees downward into the 6 o'clock position, pull back on the slide, and release it forward off the frame. From there, your captured guide rod spring comes out and your barrel comes out. Reassembly is as easy as putting the barrel back in, reseating your guide rod and guide rod spring, mating the frame to the slide, Now when you get to this point, you can see where the slide actually tends to go up. If you look near the slide lock, the slide wants to go up. You actually push down against that. You can see how it closes that seam. Then the slide moves freely across the back of the frame. Re-rotate that teardown lever, and the VP9 is good to go. You make contact with it. There's a small amount of take-up, pretty traditional for the amount of take-up that most striker-fired guns are going to have, about a ½ inch roughly, maybe a tick more, but you take up that slack, smooth pressure on the trigger, it gives a nice crisp break. There's a little slight hiccup, but overall it feels pretty crisp. Cycle the slide, find the reset, come back forward. Pretty short reset, just a slight bit of take-up again, and then it breaks again. So really, it feels pretty good. I have shot 10 rounds out of one of these so far. This will be really the most experience that I have on the gun, so I'm really excited to see how it feels, you know, after shooting quite a bit more than 10 rounds. So let's go ahead and get started. This again is a 9mm. Now HK, to my knowledge, doesn't specify that this is a full-size or a compact gun. You are holding 15 rounds of 9mm in the magazine, 2 less than your standard full-size 9mm typically across the board, and the barrel length is just a tick shorter than your average full-size 9mm gun, but we'll talk more about the specifications later. Right now, we came here to shoot this thing. Let's shoot it. We brought some competition out here for the VP9. We have the Sig P320 carry, very comparable in size. As far as performance, this thing is a hot rod. The VP9 is running really well so far. We do not have a Walther PPQ, which is what most people say is the most direct competitor to the HK VP9. If you look at it, they really look similar. But these two hot rods are pretty much the Ford Mustang and the Chevy Corvette. So we're going to ring them out and get back to you on what we think about them stacked up next to each other. So far, I am loving the ergonomics of the HK VP9. I also love the ergonomics of Sig firearms and the Sig 320, but I don't think that gun is going to be as universally enjoyed in terms of the ergonomics and the way that it feels in your hand. And largely, I'm going to credit that to the VP9's customization options with the grip there. But the trigger is something that we kind of want to hash out. So what we're doing is shot-for-shot comparison. We're going to go 1 round out of the VP9, set it down, pick up the Sig 320, 1 round out of the Sig 320, and back and forth, 4 targets apiece. Let's see what happens. that's not boding well for the Sig. So far, the HK is taking the cake. Sorry, Sig fans, I did you a disservice just now by outshooting one of my favorite guns with the new HK VP9. Shot for shot, something about the trigger on the 320, I'm going to go out there on a limb and say that I actually like the behavior of it better. But I think the ergonomics are helping, point the gun, and it's just more of a natural, intuitive feel for the way that I grip the gun and the mechanics that I try to apply to the gun. The HK certainly seems to point a heck of a lot better, but until we start blazing some bullets out of these bad boys, we're not really going to know, so let's load up and get to it. All right, let's get serious here and do some mag dumps. Got the VP9 loaded up with 10 rounds, got the 320 on the ground loaded up with 10 rounds. We're burning them out of this one, switching guns, and burning them out of the Sig 320. Let's see what happens. All in all, it's not too bad. Let's try the old workhorse. So there's some hiccups in each mag dump. I guess that's what happens when I condition myself to shoot an antiquated double single action gun with a super short throw. Let's check out the target though. All in all, we got 2 rounds here. These were out of the 320. Most of the VP9 was nice and tight right there. You are really able to drive into the back of the gun, but again, I don't think the ergonomics on the Sig are bad by any means. Trigger for trigger, hiccups included, I would honestly have to go, I think, with the 320 trigger. What happens is when you make contact with the trigger in your initial take-up, it seems to be a lot smoother. The HK kind of has a little bit of crunch right before you hit the breaking point against the sear block, and that's something that's not a huge deal, but the 320 doesn't have it. The 320 is you make contact and you take up that slack in the trigger, and it's just a definitive break point. There's no gravel, there's no hiccup whatsoever. Making contact with the reset point, both guns have a nice tactile reset point. It's a good audible click. However, on the Sig, you make contact with the reset and the gun's ready to fire again. There is no take up, after hitting that reset. The reset on the VP9, once you come out to the reset, you get that good click in your finger. There's just a tiny bit, I'd say about 1/8 of an inch worth of take up again before it's ready to shoot. Speaking for a second on the double single action Sigs versus double single action HKs, I'm more of a Sig shooter because I think hands down they make the best double single action performing trigger on the market. HKs are kind of the same as the VP9, but in a double single capacity where it's just there's a little bit of slop going on here and there. Something that I'm not a big fan of, but either way, I don't think that either one is a bad trigger. So they both rock, but I'm gonna have to give the trigger war victory over to the Sig 320. Well, there you have it, guys. After getting some rounds through the VP9, field stripping the thing, really kind of breaking it down and shooting it next to one of its biggest direct competitors right now, I can't say enough good things about it. I mean, it just shoots, it's easy, it's very ergonomic to point in your hand. The ergonomics just blew me away the first time I ever held one. The interchangeability of all the grip configurations, basically it doesn't matter what hand size you have, you're going to be able to shoot this gun. You're going to find a solution that comes right out of the factory in a way that you can condition this gun to set it up and fit in your hand. I mean, it really works well. Both the Sig 320 carry and the VP9 have a price point of between $700 and $720 right in there as suggested retail or factory pricing. We all know that you can find them a little bit cheaper at gun stores and online and things like that, but you know, really just doing a comparison across the board, they're both neck and neck. You really can't go wrong. A lot of it comes down to feel in the hand. I think they're two extreme performers. I mean, these things are supercars. You know, the engineering and the build quality that Sig and HK put into their guns, you really can't go wrong. I can honestly say, after having some rounds through a wall through PPQ, and we'll try to hopefully get a video on one of those down the road, but I would take either one of these guns over a PPQ, probably over a Glock, XD, or M&P. Well guys, I want to give a big shout out to my guy Tommy Guns for lending us his VP9. I didn't have to sign that many papers saying that I wouldn't throw it down range or bury it in mud or do anything offensive to the gun, and I held up my end of the deal. So a big thanks to you, sir. For those of you that don't know Tom, he is a fantastic shooter and great friend and mentor to me. So it was a very nice gesture and we appreciate it with, you know, from the bottom of our hearts, man. As always guys, be sure to like, comment, subscribe to our channel here, share the videos around, we'll keep them coming. We were really happy to bring you this video and we're excited about ones we got coming up, so stay tuned. We never quit.